Hi, this is Allison Prior, and I teach acrylic paintings for beginners and all levels. And today I have thought about the secret to becoming an amazing artist, to being a fantastic, best artist that you can be. And I want to tell you a secret, okay? And because a lot of people, they have a hard time moving ahead with their art because they just feel that they aren't good enough, or but there is a secret to it, and but you do still need, the main thing you do need is to have your basics first, okay? So you need to know what brushes to use, what's the best brushes for certain things, because you may be into painting flowers only, or you may be into painting landscapes or seascapes or whatever you paint, maybe abstracts, but you still need to know the basics to get started. And then after that it's, sky's the limit, okay? To become an amazing artist. So as long as you know what and the colors of your paints, it'd be nice, so do a little research, what are the best colors that other artists use, what do the pros use for colors. And I did a lot of research on it, and I do find a lot of artists, they use lots of different colors, but the main colors they use is ultramarine blue and phthalo blue and crimson red, bright red, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, cad yellow, cad red, and titanium white. Titanium white, you can use any white, but I find titanium white is the brightest white you can get, so you could have a tube of that on hand. Just use your regular white for mixing it with your paint if you need to make it brighter, or making your magic white, or for acrylics, or but titanium white is a good little tube to have just for the final highlights, and it'll really brighten up your highlights, or add really pretty snow or stars in the sky, or bits of snow in your snow at the final end of it. So that's a little tip for you. I find that I don't see many people talking about titanium white, and so that's not the secret. I'm just talking about the basics first, okay? Because you need to know this stuff. That's a lead up to being an excellent artist. Okay, that's a lead up. So then you need to have your supplies on hand. Know what kind of canvases to use. What size do you like to paint on? Do you like smaller ones, larger ones? I do find larger ones, 11 by 14 up to 16 by 20. Are the easiest ones to paint on because you don't use too much paint, and the 16 by 20s probably will sell better than 11 by 14. The bigger the canvas, it seems to be more popular. But I'm not here to tell you how to sell your paintings or anything like that, but I do want to mention things because I don't have anything written down. I'm always coming on here, something pops in my head, I say I'm going to press record and I'm going to speak, and that's all I do. Sometimes I'll take a few notes, but today I was on my treadmill, and I was actually looking at a Bob Ross video while I was on my treadmill, because it helps me concentrate on watching him paint rather than concentrate on, God, I'm getting bored, here just walking, go nowhere. But so then all this came in my head, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a podcast and give people, see, there's my treadmill making a beep at me. So I want to tell them the secret, there is a secret, and it'll help you realize how to become an amazing artist, okay? So now there are many ways that you can do your paintings, and it's not only paintings, it can be all mediums, any way that you create. You can create by using all kinds of materials. You can create by using different mediums. It can be acrylics, it could be oils, it could be pastels, it could be oil pastels, it could be I guess color pencils a little bit harder because you can't maneuver the colors around. You got to use the pencils, kind of more stiff. But I'm talking about mediums that you can move around, like paint, right? Like paint. And watercolor is nice too, but it doesn't have that smooth, silky, slick feel to it. It's just watercolor. You just put it on, and So I'm more into acrylics, and I don't even do oils very much because of the fumes. But I love painting, and I love painting all kinds of things. And I'm not that great at some of it, I'm not great at probably most of it, I don't know, but I have a secret, and why I feel that I am amazing. My art is amazing, okay? And I have a little secret for you for that. I keep saying it, but I'm not going to tell you yet because I want to lead up to it, because I want you to know that you still have to know a few things, a few basics, okay? So the few basics are, because you can't just get up one day and throw some paint on the canvas and then it's amazing. It could be, but if you're doing it for the very first time, it's very difficult to know what to do, or you just take paint out of a bucket or a couple of colors and throw it on a piece of wood, maybe. But just know the basics, okay? So if your paint depends on what you're painting. Also, if you're into landscapes, it's nice to know what type of brushes work, and you don't even need to use brushes. You don't have to even have brushes if you don't want them. You can use anything around your house that you have. You can use plastic wrap, cellophane paper, to make beautiful backgrounds. You can use sponges to make beautiful foliage. You can use a fork to make stars in the sky, or lights on a building and a seascape. You can use... if you look around your house, you come up with all kinds of things. You can use a strainer that from your, like a strainer that you use to wash your vegetables. Pour paint in those little holes, different colors, and you go on your canvas, all beautiful colors come out like a pour painting. So there's many things you don't have to have. You might say, well, I don't know what brushes to use. I don't. Well, what you got to do is a little research. What is the best brush? What brush is good for making flowers, So you look it up and you write it down and practice with it. Take your brushes and practice with them and see what they do. Just don't try to make anything in particular. Just take them and make little lines and strokes and circles and just see what they do and what kind of shapes they make. So if you are making shapes, you have to make a shape, okay? So if you're making an apple, it has to look like an apple, If you're making a tree, it has to look like a tree. If you're making a deer, it has to look like a deer, It can't. The shape is very important. Once you get the shape, once you get the basics, once you get the color paints that you need, learn a little bit about the basics of just basics. Just know your primary colors and secondary colors that the primary colors make, and so you don't need to be a scholar. You don't need to go to university in arts university and spend $100,000 trying to become an artist. You can if you want to. You might like that. But especially if you're trying to work for people in commercial art. But if you want to do your own art, you want to have your own business, you want to sell your own paintings, you want to do it all yourself, which is a lot of fun. But you have to know at least the basics. And once you know the basics, like I said, you don't have to know color theory. You can learn that down the road if you want to, but just learn the basics first and know what kind of canvases you want to paint on. Maybe you want to paint on plywood or masonite. Just know what you have to do in order to get a nice smooth surface, like putting gesso on it so that, and maybe sand it down, different things like that. So you do have to do some homework. But the problem with people have are artists, or beginning artists, or even people who painted for years, feel that their paintings are not good enough. They're not learning. They can't get it right. All this goes through their head and it holds them back. It's a sad, sad thing. It holds them back. And it's really difficult because some people want to paint so bad that they can taste it. It's almost you wake up in the morning, you can't wait to get at your easel. You go to bed at night thinking about what you're going to paint the next day. It's just constantly on your mind. You love it. You just can't. And there's a couple of paintings you did and you're like, oh, wow, I love that because it looks exactly like what I was following. It looks exactly like the reference photo. It looks exactly like that tutorial I was following. And that's your mistake. If you're happy with that, that's fine. But then when you try others and you can't get it to look exactly like what you were following, you're going to be so disappointed. So here's the secret. I will tell you my secret, okay? My secret is what I found out over all the years. I've been painting since 2000, and I tell you, I went through all that. I went through, thinking my paintings are horrible, and I just couldn't do it. I did give up, actually, for a while. I just couldn't do it. And so I just kept trying, and I went to an art class. It was a Bob Ross art class, actually. The teacher was teaching how to paint Bob Ross paintings, and the same colors and the same brushes and the same paints and the canvas, and she was so good. After I went to her class, that's when I really got into it. I think that was back in 2007. And she was the one that inspired me to keep going. She was the one that made me feel that I could do this. I really could. But there were some teachers before that you go to the classes, because I did go to classes. I did go to workshops, and they were like, okay, here, paint that. They put it on the table, and they say, you paint that. If you've got any questions, let me know. And I was so discouraged and so disappointed. I just thought it was, this is not working. So I had to go through many years of learning what am I going to do? I want to do this. I love painting. I love teaching. I just want to learn so much. I did a lot of research, yes, and I do a lot of paintings. But here was what I found. My secret is that if you do a painting, no matter what it is, if you do that painting and you're happy with it, it doesn't have to be the proper strokes, as long as you get the shapes, okay? I got to say that. Got to be the right shapes. You got to get the shapes. But for colors, the colors don't have to be perfectly perfect. As long as if you put something on canvas or on a wall or on wood, and you look at it, you go, oh wow, I love that. But then you say in your back of your mind, but it's not exactly the same as the picture I was following. Or you might say, but that tree looks a bit crooked. Or maybe I should have put a reflection over there. Or maybe I don't have the light in the right place. But yet, you said to yourself, oh wow, I love my painting. It's gorgeous. But I should have did this. I should have did that. Take out the but. As soon as you look at that painting and you go, wow, I love that. Don't go any further. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to overthink it. Don't try to think if there's a tree crooked or a branch missing or whatever. Don't overthink it. Put it aside and love it. Now you are an amazing artist. Now you finally made it. You finally made it when you went, wow, I love my painting. And they're not necessarily, like I said, there's no wrongs and rights in painting. There's no rights and wrongs. Yes, there are some people wants to get the perfect tree, wants to get the perfect water, wants to get everything just exactly the same as what they're following, their own pitch. You might have a reference photo. You went out and took a picture, and then you came home and tried to paint it. It didn't look like it at all. The colors weren't the same. But you looked at it and said, wow, I love that. Even though it doesn't look like that. You made it. You made it. Now you're an amazing artist. You are an amazing artist because now you're making your own decisions. You are loving what you're putting on the canvas. You have learned the basics, and now you finally made it. All right? So think about that. Think about the paintings that you've done over the years or that you've just started to do, and look at the ones that you love, okay? And put them aside. They're the ones you love. Don't touch them. Don't criticize them. Nothing. Just look at them and go, wow, I love that. Don't even think, oh, that's wrong and this is wrong and that. And if there's a couple of paintings that look, you can tell that you don't like them, because there's lots of paintings out there that I don't like too, right? But it's just not because I did something wrong. It's just that maybe I didn't like the way the colors came out or whatever. So a lot of the paintings are beautiful because of the colors too. So if you put bright colors and dark colors together, if you have like a lot of contrast in your paintings, it doesn't have to be perfect tree. It doesn't have to be perfect foliage. It can, as long as you look at it and you say, wow, I love my painting. So, learn some of the basics, and then when you get that wow feeling, no matter what, you made it, okay? You made it as an artist. You've made your own decisions. This is your art, your creations. You're creating what you want. It's coming from you, and nobody's going to tell you what or how to do it. You are going to do your own thing based on the basics that you learned over the years or the months or whatever. And it's your creation. It's yours. How can anybody say, oh, that's not right. You didn't do that right. Or, so how can anybody even criticize your paintings? Sometimes you might get a family member or somebody say, well, if you had to do this or that. And don't take that as bad criticism, because people outside look at something and they will help you see something you didn't see. So don't take it as like an insult, or they're jealous, or, don't do that. Let them tell you what they see, and that's fine. And you might say, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe I'll add a little bit more yellow there. Yeah, and fine, that's fine. But if you love what you see and you're there, you're done. Don't mean you're done. Don't get me wrong. You still got a lot to learn. You still got to keep going. You still got to create lots of paintings. But you have to love what you're doing. You have to be relaxed. You have to stop wanting to be like somebody else, because now you're creating your own style. You're creating your own style now. So how can you not love that? Once you look at your painting, go, wow, you know that you're now creating your own style. You're doing whatever you want to do, and you are loving it. So, there's 3 things that is important, right? So that's my secret, okay? That you made it when you love your own paintings no matter what, okay? So I think, I should leave it there, because it's all I have to say. I just got on my mind today, and I'm hearing people emailing me and telling me I didn't do it right. It's not like yours. The colors are off, and then I have other people that email me, and their paintings, they're just, something they put on there. Things are just maybe even all over the place, but they loved it. They love their own painting. They're like, wow, look at my painting. I did this great painting today, and I love it so much. And if you got somebody that looked at it, depends on the teacher or depends on the critic, right? Because they can be really, really critical. But they can only be critical because they're set in their ways. It has nothing to do with you. Those teachers think, and they are teaching you in a way that you're going to be doing, I don't know, the perfect tree or the perfect this or that or whatever. But you have to decide, okay, I love my painting. So if I see paintings that I could say, well, if I were teaching it as being a perfect painting, I would probably say, okay, we'll straighten up this and do this and add that. But if a person says to me, oh my God, look at my painting, isn't it gorgeous? I love it. I just started painting and look at what I did. I am so happy for that person, because now that that artist is on their way to being a great artist. They're on their way. Because as they go on, as a beginner, as you go on, as the years go by, you learn more and more and more, and you learn how much more you like and what you want to add to your painting, and where you want to put your highlights and your contrasts, and what types of paintings you like. Because some people like landscapes, some like seascapes, some like flowers and animals. I do all kinds of things because I'm teaching on YouTube. But if I was doing just for myself and probably even selling them, I'd probably just do landscapes. I love landscapes. I love landscapes more than I do seascapes. I love landscapes more than I like cityscapes. I love landscapes more than I love animals, putting animals in my paintings, because I find animals, a lot of shapes, takes a lot of time, right? I'm kind of an artist that likes to get it done. I like getting it done, I don't want to be hanging around for weeks on one flower. So, so then when I look around my paintings, I'm looking around at them now, and I'm looking at them, I'm saying, that's not too bad. They're nice paintings. I love them. But if I looked really, really close, I can see things that I might want to fix up. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I'll love my painting, but I might do a little bit of this, a little bit of that later down the road. No rush, right? But when I do my YouTube videos, I make them easy as I can for people, for beginners. Some I have a little harder for more I can't even pronounce it. Oh my. Anyway, for people who have a little more experience, how's that? And so I have some I look at my paintings and I sit, and they're surrounding me all the time because I'm painting from my home. So they're all around me all the time, and when I look at them, I never get sick of looking at them, And if there's a couple that I don't like, I'll either add more highlights or more shadows, or I'll add a little more of this, a little more, clean up the edges or whatever, and then it becomes beautiful again. So I just freshen up and woohoo, it's beautiful. So that's it. I'm going to leave you with that because I'm going on and on. I can go on all day and talk about this stuff, honestly. When it comes to art, I can talk and talk and talk. So I'm going to let you go and let you have a great day, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope that this helped you realize that you can be a great artist. Okay, so that's my secret. Don't tell anybody. All right, have a great day. Bye.